came back eventually. I was off globetrotting, parasailed down the Gulf of Mexico, and then hiked back up the Colorado River. Just kidding, I've been stuck here doing normal people things. My classes aren't done yet. So I just did my last paper for one of them last night. And then I have one more paper left and a final. And then they will be done. But for right now, I'm still in like the throes of death. So it's kind of unpleasant. And I'm looking forward to a fresh start for summer semester when it starts. But anyway, that's part of why I haven't been doing these videos. The other reasons involve other stuff that I've been doing in order to try and avoid doing my paper. Because when I have to do a paper, then I just punish myself, I guess. And so my brain says you should do your paper. And then I say, I don't want to do my paper. And then my brain says, well, then you can do nothing else until you do your paper as a punishment. And then I do nothing else. Not productive things, not unproductive things usually. Sometimes I think I just sit in the chair till I do my paper. The procrastination is that bad. So, anyway, so that meant no videos in my brain. It's silly, obviously, but that's what happened, sort of. So anyway, but I'm back for this one. It is a little tedious trying to do one every day. You probably think I'm running out of plants. I'm not. Not yet, anyway. So that I'm probably not going to do every day, but I'll probably do every 4 days. Maybe I'll start by trying to do once a week and then work up from there. I don't know. I'll just have to see. Whenever I feel like doing it, then I will do it. And when I don't, then I'm sorry. Here's the plant of the day. This is my bromeliad. Oh, it's jiggling around inside there. I just don't love that. I wanted a bromeliad to put in my bathroom, but this one's so big and beautiful that I didn't want to kill it by putting it into a darker room. That was kind of an experiment because they grow in the rainforest. So I have this idea that I should put one in my bathroom because it'll be, like used to the dark and the humidity. But I didn't want to kill this one doing that because the tags all say they need a lot of light. So this one's been out in a more well-lit area. This also came from the dying plants section at Smith's. Surprise, surprise. And I think it was like $8 for this beautiful vase with the bromeliad. And also, I repotted them recently, but it had an orchid squished in there as well. It was tight quarters. So, like I said, I took that orchid out, which is weird, too, that they would put a bromeliad and an orchid together because, well, they both, they have similar place, I guess, in the rainforest type areas-ish. But the bromeliad likes a lot of light and the orchid doesn't really care. And so, I don't know. I thought it was odd that they were in the same thing. I guess it was more for like presentation than like health of the plants. Anyway, so I moved the orchid out and now the bromeliad has its own space. I actually researched afterwards and they sometimes prefer more shallow things. And actually, I guess that may be why they put them together is because both orchids and bromeliads have a tendency to like grow on trees and stuff. And while it's not a parasite, it's not like leeching life from the tree or anything. It just perches there. So it doesn't actually need a lot of like soil. Sometimes they do really well in bark or wood chips, kind of like an orchid. So Some of them are actually air plants. They just like, they're not in any sort of potting medium or any sort of anything. They just are there. I don't know if that makes sense. It sounds weird to say it, but like there are things called air plants, and bromeliads are sometimes able to do that. So, anyway, so yeah, this is my bromeliad. It's related to the pineapple. They're, I don't know, cousins or something. But anyway, that's that. For the book of the day, I have actually started reading short stories online. Sometimes if you know what you're looking for, you can find it if you just Google it, because either some of them are like, they're public domain because they've been written for so long, or sometimes people break the law and post them online anyway. And sometimes I read them online. I hope that's okay. Anyway, so I recently found one called We Can Get Them For You Wholesale by Neil Gaiman. And it is quite the story. Not very long. Sometimes they say short story and then it takes you like half an hour or more to read it. This is not one of those. This is like 5 minutes maybe, and then you're done, I think. Anyway, very humorous story. It starts out, and so if you try and read this, then the first sentence might scare you because it's like all intellectual and stuff. And so I started reading it and I was like, this is too deep for me. I didn't sign up for this. I thought it was supposed to be like amusing. And it is. It's very light, very easy to just breeze through, but that first sentence could trip you up. Don't let it. Keep going. It ends very oddly, but then the whole story is kind of odd. It's just not what you would expect. So maybe give it a read if you want. I can post the link where I read it in the description, and then you can click on it and go there and see if you enjoy it. If you don't, if you think it's really weird, then I am also really weird, and that is why I enjoyed it, probably. So for the song today, I have started to run out of songs. And like, I know there are a lot of songs in the world and I can play a lot of them, but I don't really feel, I don't know. I want it to be somewhat impressive. I mean, I don't want to like play chopsticks or anything. Like, I could play a lot of songs that were very simplistic, but I don't want to do that. And so I am kind of winding down on some of the songs that I know that I'm learning. I have a bunch that are on deck. I'm just not quite ready to play them yet. So anyway, this is a prelude from the Well-Tempered Clavier. It's number 1 by Bach, the first Bach, J.S. Bach, Johann Sebastian. And I watched a YouTube video recently where the guy who played this said, sometimes we hear this very flowing with a pedal, and I actually like to play it with a little bit like the right hand short and kind of a little staccato at times to really emphasize that this was written by Bach in the time that they had a harpsichord rather than a piano. And I tried that. I wanted to like it. I did, but I didn't like it. I'm not a huge fan of Bach anyway, and so anything that I can do to play Bach less like Bach would have written it makes me enjoy it more. So here is Bach Prelude. Not in the style that Bach would have played it, but that's okay. It's still beautiful. So that's that. I may be back tomorrow. I may not be back tomorrow. I don't know. We'll just have to see. But happy Easter. I hope you're having a good time. I hope that you're staying well and that you're finding things to do that are fun. And I hope that the weather stays nice so that we can keep going outside because I love that. Bye.